So Brandy, what's the most common mistake people do in estate planning?
I would say the biggest thing that I see people miss is not designating a beneficiary.
Hello, I'm Kate Markland, a caregiver with Southern Arizona Seniors Helping Seniors, and
I'm Cameron Schipple, and I'm the owner of Southern Arizona Seniors Helping Seniors, and we're very excited to have our guest today, Brandy Kea from Kea Retirement Solutions, and she's going to be talking to us about what is estate planning today. So we're excited for that, and I've had the privilege to see Brandy in action and really provide some amazing support for one of the individuals that we work with. So we're excited to hear from Brandy.
thanks. Welcome.
Thanks for having me.
It's always a privilege. So, we are going to talk about estate planning today, and we did bring the expert. And you can see Kea Retirement Solutions does all kinds of stuff, financial services, federal employee benefits, and we're going to ask Brandy about all the things she's certified to do when we get to segment 2. So, right now, we are going to talk about
We'll talk about our mission, and for Seniors Helping Seniors, our mission is really to provide quality, compassionate care with empathetic, trained caregivers to assist seniors in Southern Arizona to remain in their homes safely and with dignity and respect. And we're very excited about the caregivers that we have. We continue to hear about the difference between empathy and sympathy, and that someone who is a little bit closer to the age of those receiving care, people are more comfortable within their home. And then we also brought on a new receiver that we are working with up in Graham County in Safford this past week. So the area and the map that you see out there, we continue to grow. So from Oracle down to Nogales, and then Safford now. Instead of Willcox, we're at Safford all the way down to Douglas.
So some of the services, and I hate to call them services because I really enjoy doing them as a caregiver, and all of our caregivers really, really love what they're doing. And in fact, that's one of the hiring criteria, isn't it?
Oh yeah, we hire for heart, and then we talk about what they're comfortable doing. But one of the main things we talk about in interviews is why would you want to be a caregiver and working in individuals' homes? So we want people who want to be a caregiver.
Exactly. Yep. And to me, it's not a job. I mean, the pay is kind of like a bonus because I fill my heart when I go to work, and then Cameron here fills my wallet every week. So it's a good deal. So I do want to talk a little more specifically about where we are located now. So here's our map, and you can see I'm going to have to make a new map because now we have all these other northwestern and northern places. So it's amazing because when you started, how many areas were we in when
we started? We focused on Sierra Vista,
right.
And then we slowly started as we continued to build the foundation and bring in new caregivers and training. We started moving out through Cochise County. We have a dozen people we're working with in Green Valley now, and we're expanding out to Tucson and Catalina Foothills and Safford. Yeah,
it's amazing.
It is
because the need is so great.
It is.
Just like the need for estate planning. So I do want to ask one quick question of you, Brandy.
Sure.
At what age do you think people should start thinking about estate planning?
Well, I'll tell you, I have 2 knuckleheads, and they did theirs at 18. So I don't think there's too early to start estate planning.
That's good.
But definitely, as you're wanting to start putting a strategy, have that peace of mind. I think, as people start putting their retirement pieces into place, that's typically the normal age that I see most people start.
I like it.
And if you start young, you could always just change things a little bit later, right?
Well, a lot of times people don't realize this, but like my son in college, if he were to be in an accident as his mother because he's an adult, I'd have no legal authority. So that's why they start at 18.
Very good. Thank you. And we'll get back to that, I'm sure. So, one other thing I wanted to talk about is we are hiring special caregivers.
We are hiring.
And here's the first question we ask. Are you awesome?
Yes.
Because every one of our caregivers is awesome.
And we want to know why you're awesome. So
Good.
It's not just a yes or no answer that we're looking for there. So.
Thank you. This is from one of the folks that actually does the interviewing. So, The other thing, I saw an application from a caregiver that I worked with in assisted living. And we have a section on there that says, why are you interested in Southern Arizona seniors helping seniors? And her answer was, I heard you all were compassionate.
Oh, I love
Isn't
that.
that a blessing?
I love that.
I love it. Good.
Yeah, we had an applicant recently who said she heard about us and, didn't really feel like she was ready to apply. And then she knew one of the ladies from her church, and she said, the last 3 months you've had a whole different attitude. You're laughing, you're smiling. What's the difference? She goes, I work for Seniors Helping Seniors. And then she went out and applied too. So
Oh, lovely.
when the caregivers love what they do and they're making a difference in individuals' lives, they become some of our best advertisement, I think.
Absolutely.
Yep.
And they come from all over, career-wise too. We have retired LPNs. We have a retired midwife. We have companions, folks who've cared for family members. And now they're ready to share their heart with someone else as well.
Yep, and we do, right now we're probably about 35% more companionship and 35% personal care. So that's one of the things we go through when we're interviewing is what are your comfort levels of what you're willing to be trained in? Or, we have some individuals just want to start with companion care. So we do have to redefine housekeeping as light housekeeping sometimes with our receivers. But yeah, it's a real blessing to be able to have individuals that want to make a difference with just some medication reminders, meal preparation, cleaning the dishes. I think laundry and the fitted sheets here is a big one
my
that we come
goodness,
across.
yes.
So
I do fitted sheets for the receivers of care that I'm assigned to right now. And one of those receivers, we've celebrated our 1-year anniversary together. And it's probably one of the best stories because when I first met this person, she was coming out of rehab from a horrible hip injury. And she could do nothing for herself. So I got to do all of that. And then I got to be involved in her recovery journey. And now she's totally self-sufficient, walking. I mean, she even has a posse. The folks where she lives just adore her. So.
Yeah, we went from mornings and evenings 7 days a week down to just 3 days a week. So
That's right.
A little bit of shower standby, I think.
That's right. And the standby is just to help her to remain confident that she can do these things herself. So it's kind of cool. I like it. So we have been out and about. We were at Arizona at Work hiring fair here in Sierra Vista. And that was with our buddy Eric and his team. Boy, they were amazing, weren't they?
They were. That was actually, other than the pouring rain outside, and wondering if people were going to come, that was a really good event. And we actually have 2 caregivers that started working with receivers last week that came from that hiring fair. So
That's good.
yeah.
Because I know we talked to at least 4, 5. And some of them were just perfect fit right away. We just knew. We also had the honor of providing gift baskets and sponsorship for 2 golf events in town. One was for the Sky Islands Regional Partnership, and the other was for Life Care's inaugural golf tournament. I'm excited about that. And speaking of Life Care, we're going to have them as our guest on our next show. And our buddy there, Erica Tinney, is going to arrange a wonderful speaker for us.
Life Care is pretty cool. They have a training facility in the back. So before you get discharged, they make sure they have like the side of a car in there. You get in and out of the car. They have a whole kitchen. So they're making sure you're prepared and equipped before you get home. So.
I love that idea.
Yeah.
Instead of dealing with, here's a diagram of how you step forward.
Yeah. Or call us if you need us. Yeah.
Good luck.
Good luck. I like that. We also have been at Mountain View Gardens 3 times recently. One time was a funny money auction. That was my favorite. They have activities throughout the year, and folks who attend earn big bucks, Monopoly money. And at the end of the year, folks from the community donate things, and they have an auction. And we had a couple of gift baskets with gift cards in them, and of course a gift certificate for Seniors Helping Seniors Services. And one of our baskets, the bid was, guess,
It's Monopoly money, 500.
$1 million.
$1 million.
Wow.
A million simoleons. Can you believe it? I was really impressed with that.
And I know we've already delivered the services. So the person
we
who
have?
won or purchased one of the baskets gave it away to a friend, and we went out and helped get the apartment all nice and clean before her family came down.
Oh,
Yeah.
lovely.
Yeah.
That's great. Another thing we did is questions to ask an in-home care agency when you're looking for a little assistance at home. And that was really well attended. And I think it was because we had a big basket of candy. No, that wasn't it. It was because Cameron was doing the talking. Everybody loves him.
Well, I enjoy spending time with the individuals there, and it's always good to know, we're not trying to be salesy or pushy. We just, here's what you ask everybody. Look around,
That's
see what
it.
services are out there. There's some other organizations in town, and this is what I asked for when I was looking for my mom. So that's what the information we give out.
Perfect. The other thing we participated in at Mountain View Gardens was I think they do this 3 times a year. It's a community health fair. And care and health agencies in the region come and help, set up a table, answer questions, give away good swag, as we call it. And there's always, the residents at Mountain View Gardens always attend those.
Mm-hmm.
Another place we went was the Pima One Stop, let me get that straight, hiring fair in Tucson. And that was also in coordination with Arizona at Work with the Tucson offices. They had 1,200 job seekers come through in that 3-hour period. And we had 4 folks of ours working the table, and it was nonstop. We had people in line. It was just amazing.
We got an orientation coming up with some people that came out of that one. So, yeah.
I'm glad to hear that.
Yeah.
Time well spent. So another thing is the Transition Assistance Program on Fort Huachuca job fair. And I think that's another 3 hours that we spent there. And a lot of good potential employees, team members there. And finally, the Walk to End Alzheimer's. And I am still overcome with that event. So we're going to save the details for our next show with pictures and everything, because it may take the whole show. Great. And now, drum roll. It's time for Brandy Kea. And Cameron, did you want to say anything else to introduce Brandy?
Well, one, I want to thank you for coming. I know when some of the times we're working with individuals, one of the questions we ask is just around, power of attorney, advance directives, and there are a lot of individuals that maybe haven't done anything yet and maybe think it's too late, or we're working with family members and they're not sure. So Brandy's been a tremendous partner. We met through the Business Networking International, BNI, here local in Sierra Vista, which is also a great organization for small businesses for support and assistance with networking and getting to know each other. And Brandy has always been one who is willing to talk to anybody. And when we've sent referrals, I've never heard anyone call back with anything but compliments and how quickly she or her office responded. We ourselves saw a fantastic turnaround with someone who had to make some decisions right away, and Brandy came over on site, to see that individual. So thank you, Brandy. And the topic that you have, I know there's a lot of confusion with individuals. When do we do it? What is the difference between a will and power of attorney and trust and, getting all that set up? So I'm hoping this is something that people can record and play back, because I think daughters, sons, parents, everybody needs to know the information that you have.
Well, thanks.
All yours.
All right. So when we start talking about estate planning, there are 5 essential documents that go into making up a comprehensive estate plan. So today I want to kind of go over what those different documents are. In addition, we'll talk about the biggest mistake I see the common person make would be beneficiary designation, right? And then I'll talk about maybe some real life examples. One of the things that makes me unique is I'm a second generation estate planner. So essentially I started my career at 12 watching my mother, if anybody knows, cold calling is probably the worst job to have in life. And my mom got a phone book out and said, every time you make an appointment, I'll buy you a new pair of shoes. And I have a pretty good shoe collection. So that's how I started it in my job, right? So when we look at estate planning, it's something I'm very passionate about. And I always like to share my why story. So my dad was a federal employee, and he spent a lot of time overseas. He was a LAR, he did a logistics, so a lot of the military installations over there, he was first boots on the ground. And so it was not a warm welcome. And my father suffers from an extreme case of PTSD, okay? So when my father was 43 years old, he was actually committed to an insane asylum. He had a mental breakdown. And by the grace of God, my mother did what she did, and my parents had an estate plan. So instead of her having to hire an attorney to protect her, hire an attorney to protect my father, fight to regain and get control over him, all of that was avoided because they already had a plan in place. So for me, estate planning is the foundation that you build everything upon, because it's the power that protects you and your family. And I genuinely believe having that peace of mind is a vital piece. So again, we'll talk about each one of the different documents that allows a different layer of protection, because at different times you'll use them. All right, so when we start looking at what are those 5 documents, the most common document when we say estate planning is probably the will, right? A will is a simple document that says, I have a home, I really like you, Cameron, my home goes from me to you, right? That's the purpose of the will, is to say who gets what. However, the will does not actually transfer the asset. So that, again, that's a big misconception. A lot of people have this belief of, oh, I wrote a will, so it'll just automatically transfer. A will does not transfer the assets. Most people have to go through the process of called probate. They go in front of the judge, they present the will, the judge reviews that, and then they go through this process. Here in Sierra Vista, probate is 1 year, 3 months.
Wow.
Again, a lot of people don't know that, and then it's costly. So again, a lot of times people start looking at different ways to get around that. And so one of the most common things that people come to my office for is a revocable living trust. Revocable means I can change my mind at any point, and I remind my 2 knuckleheads of that on a regular basis, right? So again, as long as my life evolves, my plans change, this allows my documents to grow with me and my life, okay? So the big kind of purpose of a trust is to think of it as a basket. It allows me to hold all of my things. So I put my house, I put my car, I put my bank account in the basket. And the neat thing is this house that I said I want to go to you, Cameron, upon my death, it instantly, here you go. So the trust allows everything to transfer, right? And so a lot of times people like the benefit of having that instant gratification. We all love that in life. But they also like the fact that it's private. There's no judge, there's no attorney, there's no matter of an inventory list of all my assets that becomes a matter of public record, right? So again, a lot of people prefer the privacy of a trust. And that's one of the reasons why we're seeing more and more people say you should have a trust, you should have a trust. Because again, it's just a shopping basket that allows you to hold everything. And then the nice thing about that is, as I go through the aisles of life, I can take things in and out of my shopping cart as I wish. So if I had it with Wells Fargo, that's it, it's out. I'm going to Navy Federal Credit Union, right? So again, it allows me to swap in and out of my basket. So really that's the purpose of a trust, is just to be that basket that houses everything.
That's a great visual.
Good, good. So the other documents are really where it gets important. The next one is the living will, and I call this the loving document. In fact, our office will give them away for free because that's how passionate I am about these documents. A living will, not to be confused with the standard will, is the document that says if I am in a permanent vegetative state, right? I'm driving on I-10, I get in an accident with a semi-truck, I'm now laying in the hospital bed. The only thing keeping me alive is that ventilator. The last thing I want in life is for my 2 boys to have to come in and make the decision and say, pull the plug on mom. I've been doing this a very long time, and I can tell you, I know the hurt that happens to a family. And so if you love your family, one of the things I tell people, one of the most loving things you can do is have a living will. Now again, there are some people that don't believe the way I believe. My personal belief is I don't want to lay in a hospital bed with a ventilator. Now if you believe like me, then I think you should have a living will and take the burden of that decision off of your family, because the document says I direct that life sustaining. So when my son goes in, he presents the document, he's saying, I'm respecting and honoring what my mother wanted. He's not forced to make that decision, right? So that's the value of having a living will. The last two documents are going to be power of attorney, right? And I think those, again, my two boys signed power of attorneys. I don't think you're ever too early to have a power of attorney. Power of attorney is if I am alive, but I'm not competent. Who can speak? Who could be my voice? Who can be my advocate, right? If I fall and hurt my hip, who's going to keep the electricity on so my groceries don't go bad, because groceries are expensive. Don't let the power go out, right? So again, we need to have that person that we can trust to be my voice, to be my advocate. There's two different documents. One is our financial matters and one is for our medical decisions, right? So both of those come into play. Those are vital documents to have in any well-balanced estate plan.
Excellent.
Thing about the documents you're talking about through here, one of the things that I saw personally with my sisters and I, we had different definitions of quality of life or how far along was mom, but when we went right back, well, we're just honoring her wishes, it took away the whole debate, that we would have as siblings. We're just here to honor mom's wishes. So it's
Absolutely.
I think it actually helps keep the family from going back and forth.
Absolutely. It's a playbook. I always say, if you look at the football guys, they all have the same playbook. They huddle around. They say, this is the play. And you don't have this guy running this way and this guy running this way. Everybody's moving in the same direction because they know the play. When you have a comprehensive estate plan, you're just leaving this step-by-step guide. And think about it. You've just lost a loved one, whether it's a husband or a mom and dad. It's a hard time. It's a huge transition. The last thing you want to do is have to navigate this weird legal world that you've never even been introduced to. So having an estate plan, it's just, hey, do this, now do this, now do that. It really is a very, very kind thing to do for your family.
So Brandy, what's the most common mistake people do in estate planning?
I would say the biggest thing that I see people miss is not designating a beneficiary. If you have an asset, whether it's a car, a house, a bank account, you should make sure you have designated a primary and a contingent. Back in 2009, Kennedy versus DuPont, this is a huge case precedent. All 9 of the Supreme Court agreed, and we can all admit they never agree on anything. Kennedy was divorced, and in his divorce decree, his ex-wife waived all rights and entitlements to his retirement accounts. However, when Kennedy passed, guess who got all $402,000? The ex-wife.
How come?
Because he never went back and updated his beneficiary form. So the U.S. Supreme Court ruled the beneficiary form trumps all other legal documents. So I don't care what age you are, I don't care what phase you are in life. If you have an asset, take the time to designate a beneficiary. That is the most common thing. I sit down with people all the time and they have an ex-spouse still named on their life insurance, right? Or again, they have, in some cases, they have their mom instead of their wife. So again, that would be the biggest mistake people make.
Yeah.
Great question. Thanks for asking.
Well, I knew that there was something more in there. No secrets. Now, I saw on your website that you are available to do like first meetings with people to see just how much they will need.
Absolutely. We offer free consultations.
Oh, good.
So when I opened my practice, I built it on the principle of education. My goal is to educate. And so please come in if you have questions. If you have an estate plan and you're just not sure if it's up to date or if it's going to work, we offer free consultations, free reviews.
Terrific. I'll call and make an appointment this week.
Wonderful.
It saves families too.
Agreed.
Because of all I'm sure you all had normal disagreements about it with your sisters, but
We did, but there's just a different weight, that comes with some of the decisions when it's, mom's near the end, or what do we do? So,
exactly.
yep. And it was funny, I remember when we had the conversation with both my mom and dad, and we're like, oh, that's morbid, don't talk about that. And I'm like, no, we need to talk about it. We each had our binder, we were ready to go, and we were able to bring it back out and talk through when the decisions happened. And sometimes those events, they're not easy to plan. You don't know when they're going to happen.
No.
So being able to have that well ahead of time was really
Absolutely.
good for us.
That's great. And I think we have a slide for the living will. Is that what it was? Mm-hmm. Could we take a look at that, please? There you go. The loving document you mentioned.
Correct.
So I really like the part about it being so definite. This is what I want. This is my legal request. It's not just, gosh, I hope they do this for me, because that's hard. It's hard.
It is.
Agreed. I mean, I've seen 6'5" grown men hovered over in just a pile of dismay because they had to make that decision. It's a very tough thing to put on a family member, and so again, that's why I nickname it the living document.
I love it.
It takes that burden off of them.
Perfect. What does that little cartoon say?
Oh, it says, I just got his financials. I say we pulled the plug.
Sick. Sick.
You have to
Brandy.
laugh about it.
You have to. Humor is the only thing that keeps us going.
You have to find the humor in everything.
So how long have you been in Sierra Vista?
I am a Sierra Vista girl. I grew up, if you remember way back when, I went to Sierra Vista Middle School that doesn't even exist anymore.
Wow.
I graduated from Buena High School and Cochise College. I am a Sierra Vista girl through and through.
My goodness. I'm
And so
glad-
your main office is here, but you also have an office in Tucson.
I
right?
do, yep. So my office is right here on Fry Boulevard, 2700 East Fry. Same building as Dr. Kawakami, Pioneer Title. I have a second office in Tucson. I work one day a week out of my Tucson office. That's up by Sabino Canyon.
Of course it is. That's a beautiful part of town.
It is, yes.
Excellent. Thank you.
Well, if your family is wondering what to do next and not sure if you have all of your documents in order or want to look to see if there's a different update, and I love that, the basket analogy, sometimes you take things in and take them out, then please reach out to Brandy Kea at Kea Retirement Solutions and set up a consultation so she can answer any of the questions that you have.
Okay, now let's move on to where we're going to be in the next month. And my favorite one is what's coming up first, and that is the Veterans Day Parade here in Sierra Vista. And Cameron has been kind enough to allow me to use his truck as a float. So we're going to put all kinds of toilet paper and chicken wire on it.
Oh, I have to review what we agreed to.
It won't be that extensive. But we also have veterans who are caregivers.
Yes, we do.
So we're going to be honoring them not only at the parade, but with the,
Veterans Luncheon.
that's right,
Yeah.
Bring a Vet to Lunch. And
love
here it
that.
is, and you can see it's sponsored by Sky Island Regional Partnership. And will be, oh, by the way, the Arizona at Work Job Fair was held at the Community Innovation Center. That is an amazing place. So we'll do the parade. The parade will be on November 11th. But before that, we'll go eat, because eating is a good way to bond.
Agreed.
Thank you.
I bond all the time.
I'll tell you what, we've been sitting here and I'm having a hard time just sucking in my gut for the whole 30 minutes. So, anyway, good. So the next one is, let me get some glasses. The Halloween fair. This is fantastic. We've been doing this here in Sierra Vista, the 18th annual Halloween Fall Festival, and it's sponsored by Kathy Murray from Tierra Antigua Realty. The way we found out about it was I saw Jeff Davenport do a little blurb on what Kathy was planning, and I got so excited. And I said, you know who goes to those kinds of things? Children. But they have to be accompanied, so who would go with them? Cameron.
Bring mom, dad, grandma, grandpa.
Exactly.
I always go because my boys, they're not really able to have sugar. They're
Ooh.
gluten-free. So whatever they collect, I tell them, get the Reese's cups. Those are my favorite. So, works out good for me. Yeah. And then we end up giving it all to the firemen too. So,
Yes,
yep.
of course, of course. So, Kathy told me that we should probably bring enough candy for 3,500 people.
Oh, wow.
Wow.
That's a lot of candy.
That
That is.
So I'm excited about that. I like to give candy away too.
I'm going to have to go to Costco.
Yeah.
Yay!
Get some buckets
Costco.
of
Big
candy,
bags.
That's the best place. And then finally, what we'll be doing is the Christmas parade, the Parade of Lights,
it's my
also sponsored
favorite
by
event.
Sky Island. I remember when I was a freshman in high school here, and that was back in, and and we had a float in the Christmas parade, and I got to ride in the cab of the truck and do Mickey Mouse imitations.
Oh.
Merry Christmas, boys and girls! It was a lot of fun.
Yeah,
So,
it
we're
was fun
looking-
watching last year. They did the different movie themes, right?
Oh,
Yeah,
yes.
That was
It's
really
just
cool.
magical, like at nighttime, and it
Isn't
just
it?
lights up. I love it.
Yeah.
I love it. One
And
of my
it's so
favorite.
small town America. That's the best part. Are you all going to have a float?
No. My team is small. It's just the three of us. So
Oh,
they
But
might.
it goes right by your office,
We
right?
do. Yeah,
Oh.
it's right past the veterans. I mean, we have such a perfect location, so we get
Yeah.
to watch all the parades.
Oh, my
always.
goodness.
Yes.
that's wonderful.
Yeah.
Cool. So that about wraps it up for where we're going to be. Anything else we want to tell folks about what we're doing and where we're going?
Well, I mean, we got Life Care next coming up
right.
next, right? And we are having the booths that are out there. But take a look at our website if you're interested in being a caregiver, and if you're just wanting to know what types of services are there. And one of the things we don't want to do is be pushy, and we really believe that 2 or 3 hours a week sometimes can make all the difference in the world. So if you're thinking, I don't know if I'm in a place where I want someone coming to my home, but just give us a call. We walk through the types of services, what we could do as far as bringing support and assistance. Could be even just sometimes transportation to a doctor's appointment, or having someone help recover while you're not feeling well. So
Exactly.
give us a call, and we'd love to come out to your home and meet with you and see if it'd be a good fit.
So one of the things that I really appreciated about meeting Cameron and having this collaboration that we have is just how much I admire and respect his heart. And I work with a lot of different businesses, and you can authentically tell when somebody cares about their clients. And for me, it's very important that my clients become like family. And Cameron has that same just aura about him. He loves what he does. He loves authentically helping people. And so for me,
Thank you.
I really enjoy working with him because I have such admiration for that aspect of him.
Yeah, that was one of the things that everyone we hire, we talk about making sure they have the right heart. There was a few companies we interviewed to come care for my mom, and immediately, no, they're not sincere. That's not who's going to be around my mom. So
Right.
we want to not hire anyone I wouldn't put with my own mom, and make sure that we're treating everybody that we work with how we would treat our own family. So
And helping other businesses in the area bring their services to the folks that we meet too.
absolutely. So we're excited to have Life Care, and if there's other businesses out there that provided senior support, or have education, or want to share something that is going to be beneficial to everyone in Cochise County, give us a call. We'd love to have you on the show.
Absolutely. And now we will say, in honor of your traveling son, sayonara.
Thank you, Brandy, and thank you all.